Good morning, everyone. This is Ty Creek Rock back for another exciting day here on the ARK Survival Evolved Crystal Isles map. This is day number 314 of our little adventure here, and well, today's episode I think is just basically going to be about the Giganotosaurus, or the Giganotosaurus, or however you like to say it. I kind of like to say Giganotosaurus because it's a little bit funny, but I think it's actually pronounced Gigantosaurus. But today's basically going to be about those creatures. And I think the first thing we want to start off with is just how big is a Gigantosaurus. So I'm going to, well anyway, compare it to other ARK creatures and stuff. So I'm going to pull out some ARK creatures to give you a size comparison. And I think I'm going to start with maybe a compy, because they're probably about the smallest creature in ARK. So let's bring out a compy. I'm going to put down a compy right here. If I can remember how to throw one. Put out the little compy here. And I'm going to do a size comparison with the compy and me. See about the difference in the size. Get the orbital camera up. And I don't know how you zoom out like that. Okay, I am probably... We'll figure I'm an average sized man here. I'm probably 6 feet tall. This compy is probably just a little under half of my size, so it's probably about a 2.5 foot ant creature, like it's standing right now. So that's probably one of the smaller creatures. It's about the size of my little chibi. About the size of my little chibi mantis there. But let's see, let's find something a little bigger to compare with that. What would be something just slightly bigger than a compy? Do we want to do another shoulder pet? I guess a dodo is slightly bigger than a compy. Let's put a dodo over here and see what the difference is in a dodo and a compy. Okay, right there's the difference. The dodo is quite a bit bigger than the compy. Let's do the orbital camera again and get an idea of how big the dodo actually is. It's hard to get a good view, isn't it? I'd say the dodo is probably a little over half of my size, so we'll probably say the dodo is about 3.5 feet tall. And what would be slightly bigger than a dodo? Let's keep the size comparison thing going. We're going to compare creatures up to a Giga. I think we'll go with the Direwolf next. Direwolf is a slightly bigger creature. Of course, I've got ghost Direwolves. I got all my Direwolves set up with the ghost outfits. So let's compare the Direwolf to these other creatures here and see what the comparison will be on these. Toggled HUD instead of orbital camera. Yep. Okay, wow, the Direwolf is quite large. Direwolf is actually bigger than me. I would say the Direwolf is probably about 7 feet tall. Actually, it is pretty big. But anyway, what would be slightly bigger than the Direwolf? Go with a unicorn, maybe. Let's do a unicorn, I guess. Put a unicorn up here. How big is a unicorn compared to a Direwolf? Not much bigger, really. Unicorn looks pretty similar to the Direwolf. It is slightly bigger. Slightly over my head, so probably maybe 8 feet tall on the unicorn. So we're saying 8 feet on a unicorn. What would be the next creature we want to do? Wow, let's go with a tech parasaur. They look quite a bit bigger. Don't even come up to their leg. So we're going to bring a tech parasaur over here. Get him in the lineup. He is quite a bit bigger than a unicorn and quite a bit taller than me. how to use nothing here. I'm trying to get the orbital camera back up again. Having trouble remembering how to do this stuff. Okay, here is me compared to a parasaur. Boy, a parasaur is quite large. I would say a parasaur is at least 12 feet tall, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 13 feet tall. So a parasaur is huge compared to the other creatures. But this is our comparison so far. So we got a 12-foot tall parasaur compared to a 2-foot tall compy here. We're going to continue moving up in size in creatures. What would be next up in size? Maybe a Carno. Let's see if a Carno looks quite a bit bigger than a parasaur, doesn't it? Let's put the Carno in the lineup. We've got at least a 12-foot tall parasaur here, in my estimation, considering I'm a 6-foot human. And the Carno is probably another couple of feet above that. So yeah, the Carno, I would guess, is probably about 3 times my height. So let's say the Carno is at least 16 or 17 feet tall. So this guy is quite huge. I am barely as big as he's up to his kneecap right there. But let's see, let's get another creature and stick in our lineup here. I'm thinking a Megatherium would be next. Megatherium, how tall are you compared to a Carno? You are probably not going to be much taller than the Carno, so this might not be a good increase here. When he sits back, he's a little taller than the Carno. Not a whole lot. You're up there pretty good, though, ain't you? This is the Megatherium. In comparison to me. Well, you cannot move in but one dimension when you got the orbital camera on. This is me compared to a Megatherium. I'm about the size of one of his hands. And he looks to be about 4 times my size, which would probably put him up about 24 feet tall. So these guys are quite huge. We want to get something else in our lineup now. What do we want to go with next? What would be bigger without being humongously bigger? We want to go with a Quetz, maybe. Flying creature. I'd say the Quetzal's quite a bit bigger than... Let's see. I'm thinking let's go with the Mammoth next. Let's stick a Mammoth in our lineup. See how big the Mammoth is. If I can get him in here, I may not be able to get him around the Dodosaurus. Wow, the Mammoth is going to be humongous in comparison to it. Mammoth is going to be quite humongous. By comparison to the Megatherium, the Mammoth is huge. Do the orbital camera thing again. Right there you go. I might make a toenail for the Mammoth. I can't even see the Mammoth. It's so big in comparison to me. Yeah, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and probably 5.5 times my size, maybe 6 times my size. So the Mammoth is massively bigger. So let's say the Mammoth is about 35 feet tall. On ARK anyway. I'm sure the real mammoths were nothing like that. But the ARK Mammoth looks to be about 35 feet tall. Do we want to stick a Spinosaur into this lineup? I don't think so, because they're humongous. Let's stick a Quetzal in there. See if a Quetzal is actually bigger than a mammoth. May not be. If it's not, I'm not even going to use it. But this is the largest flying creature, and no, it is not bigger than the mammoth. And it doesn't back up. The mammoth is quite huge, apparently. I thought the Quetz might be bigger than the mammoth since it can pick them up. But the Quetzal is not anywhere near the size of the mammoth. So we're going to say probably on the Quetzal, probably about 25 feet tall on the Quetzal. I'm going to move the Quetzal though because I need to make room for some other creatures we're going to bring up here. We're going to bring up a Rex and a Giganotosaurus for comparison, so I'm going to move the Quetzal. If I can make room for the Quetz. Let's park him out here somewhere. Quetzal's not as huge as I thought it was, but it can carry a mammoth, boy, and I'm stuck inside of it. Stuck inside a Quetzal and can't get out. Okay, should we go with a Spinosaur? A Spinosaur is about as big as a Rex, so I'm probably just going to skip the Spinosaur and go right to a T-Rex here. We come up to the ankle on a T-Rex. We're kind of estimating that the mammoth on this map, on the ARK game anyway, is probably about 35 feet tall compared to a 6-foot human. Then we've got the T-Rex here. T-Rex really is not that much bigger than the mammoth, which I thought it would be. I thought it was quite a bit bigger than a mammoth. But it seems to be quite similar in size. It's probably a little bit taller. Do the orbital camera thing again. But you can see here the T-Rex is slightly bigger and taller than the mammoth. Maybe a couple of feet taller. Maybe 40 feet. In my estimation, maybe 40 feet tall. But there's my lineup of ARK Creatures so far, but we're going to get the big guy out here in just a second to show you how much bigger a Giganotosaurus is, or a Giganotosaurus, than all these other creatures. We're going to show you here just how big this Rex is here. We come up to just about its ankle right here. Then its knee is about twice our height, so it's about probably 12 feet to the T-Rex's knee. And we can easily walk under it. We're going to bring out the big guy next, the Giganotosaurus. This is the biggest, well, almost the biggest land creature on this map. There is actually one creature that is bigger. I'll talk about it later, I think, though. But this is the Giganotosaurus. It is going to be bigger than my building. It's going to be really hard to get him up here. This guy's just massive. Yeah, he is bigger than my building. I don't know how many. I think my building is like 6 foundations tall, and his head is up above my building right here. But the Giga is huge. I mean, it is massive. Look at it compared to that T-Rex. It is like, I would say it's double the size of the T-Rex, nearly. And I can't even get out of the saddle to be seen. I am small in the saddle here. And it's way up above my house here. His tail is up at the top of my industrial forge. I'll have to step myself down here off these creatures to keep from taking fall damage. But look at this guy. His ankle is up to the T-Rex's knee nearly. I'm to his toe claw here. And the Giga, I don't know if I can even get perspective on this Giga or not. It's so big. Let's get this out of the way. This Giga is going to be so big that it's going to be hard to get any perspective against these other creatures. Move the Argent and the Berry out of the way. Bet the Lystro. It must be in third person. I cannot do nothing here. Toggle first, Here's the way I'm used to playing. Pet the Lastro. Now look at the size of the feet on this thing. There's a T-Rex foot, and here's a Giga foot. And the T-Rex comes up to about the Giga's belly, looks like. Let's see if we can do the orbital camera thing. We've got stuff in the way here for this, I think. It's going to be really hard to see these guys for the orbital camera because he's just so big. Maybe if I get over here and look down the line, you can see the difference in the Giga and the T-Rex. Okay, there's one of ARK's smallest creatures up to one of ARK's biggest creatures. I'm having a hard time estimating this Giga because I figured the T-Rex is probably about 40 feet tall. It is hard to see, but the Giga goes way up above that. Let's say that ARK's wall panels here are probably 6 foot tall. He goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And it's slightly above 6. So probably 7 tiles tall. So 7 times 6 is 42 feet tall. I done figured that the Rex was about 40 feet tall, so I must have that wrong. Rex must not be that tall. The Rex must be more like about 30. And the Giga is taller than my industrial forge. And he's way up above the Rex. So I'm standing on the Rex's head, and I'm still having to look up to the Giga. So that's basically the size comparison. There really ain't nothing even close other than one other creature out in the wild. Actually, a Brontosaurus is nearly as big as a Giga. But we're going to take the Giga out for a ride, I think, and maybe compare him to a Brontosaur. And maybe compare him to a few other things. Oh, the Giga's loaded down in meat already. How overweight is he? Yep, he is almost as tall as the building and the Quetzal on top of the building combined. Just make sure I don't step on my Lastro. Walk over just about anything, can't you? He may be taller than one of these windmills, but right there's a ARK windmill. And the Giga is right up there with the windmill. Not the top blade, but right to the rotor mechanism on it. Let's take him down and do a walk around with him today. We've wasted half the day just talking about him though. I need to see what his weight is, and I got the HUD turned off. Turn the HUD back on. Okay, he is running really heavy, so I'm going to have to drop some stuff off before I can take off with him. I want to do a walk around, but he is overweight. I've been carrying meat and stuff on him. And he doesn't have a huge amount of carrying weight to begin with. I'm just going to dump the spoiled meat. I've got some spoiled meat. I don't know what I'm ever going to do with all of it. And I guess Spinosaur, you're going to be in my new meat refrigerator here because I can't carry all this. Okay, let's take the Giga out for a ride. Maybe take on a few Brontosaurs. I can show you how big he is compared to a Brontosaur. There's some things you need to know about a Giga though if you tame one. If you tame one, they're going to lose most of their health and a big chunk of their melee damage. And they have almost no stamina at all, so he moves. Seems like he's moving really slow, but he's taking huge steps, so he's covering a lot of ground really quick. But his stamina bar is really small, so if he going fast speed like this, he runs out of stamina super quick. And you have to get it back really slowly. I don't know if he'll regain stamina walking slow or not. Looks like he will. But if you tame one of these guys, they're going to lose most of their health. They're going to lose a lot of their melee damage. Torpidity didn't go down any. They're still really powerful. This thing, it had 175% melee when I was taming it, and it went down to 130%, but I've been leveling up its melee. If you tame one, you want to do nothing but level up its melee damage, because it gets just a very little bit on each of its level ups, even on melee, but the only thing that's useful on it is melee. I'm going to go down here and compare him with a Brontosaur. Probably take the Brontosaur out. Show you it's basically about the same size as a Brontosaur, its body is. It's basically a Brontosaur on two legs. You can see here they're very similar in size. Bronto might be just a hair bigger, I don't know. They're basically the same size, except this guy's got a giant head and that one's got a giant neck. What level is the Bronto? I'm probably going to get rid of this Bronto. 145. Well, I hate to get rid of a 145 Bronto, so let's not do that. I might eventually tame a Bronto. That would be a good candidate. Let's head on up the map. There's some other creatures I want to show you in comparison with a Giga. I do have another creature that's probably a lot bigger than the Giga. It's up here at my frog pond. I've got Tusos up here, and I'm pretty sure Tusos are quite a bit bigger. They might not be a lot bigger, but I'm sure they're a lot longer. Right here is a Tuso compared to a Giga. Actually, I don't know. I better not get him off in there. He might not be able to come back up out of there. Yeah, the Giga's pretty close to the size of a Tuso. Just for the length of the tentacles is probably the only reason the Tuso would be longer. I really figured the Tuso would make the Giga look small, but it doesn't appear that they do. They're pretty comparable in size. I've got another baby Tuso. I need to check on it real quick before we head off. See that it's got food and is eating good. It'll need an imprint pretty soon. 43 minutes before it needs an imprint. So let's check the feeding trough, and we're going to take the Giga on up through the woods and maybe take on a T-Rex or something. Take on a Bronto or two, whatever we can find. Looks like we're good on meat here, but we'll throw some extra in here since our Giga's overloaded with meat anyway. I'm not going to get him off in that deep hole right there because I'm a little worried he might not be able to come up out of there. But he's bigger than my fishing shack here, as you can see. And you can see the fishing shack is like four blocks wide and 4 blocks long and 3 blocks high. So we're going to say the Giga is probably trout. What are you doing up here? You're going to die if you don't get back down in the water. We could probably say a Giga is about 7 ARK blocks tall. Which would put it at about 42 feet. We'll probably estimate him to be about 45 feet tall. I'm going to walk around a while, see if we can find a Rex or a Bronto to take on. I have been leveling up his melee, so I think he's got over 200 melee now. Yep, he's got 262% melee and a pretty good saddle, so I really ain't nothing out here I would need to be worried about. I don't think anything could probably hurt him other than maybe another wild Giga or maybe an alpha T-Rex. I think he could probably handle anything else. There's a Megatherium. Should we take out a Megatherium? Let's give that a try. If it ain't a 150 or something, it is a 145. Boy, you don't want me to kill stuff like that, so I'm going to keep a trucking. And there's a Direwolf. I'm going to leave the Direwolf alone also. Not that I'm worried about it or anything, but there's another Megatherium. We'll probably take it out unless it's a 150. Let's have a look at the other one. It is a 50. Something is attacking me. What is attacking me? What has got the nerve to attack me? Pego, step in. 15 Pego picked a fight with somebody he couldn't deal with. Let's go get this other Megatherium. It is low level. Then maybe we can find a T-Rex or something to fight. This Megatherium is probably just going to be a one bite. Megatheriums are huge creatures, but not compared to these guys. Well, he actually took about 3 bites and gave me a level up. What the Pegos are attacking? Well, them Pegos are really brave, ain't they? I wouldn't think anything would go after a Giga. The Pegos jumped right in there. What is that up in front of me? Apache Rhinoceros. And we don't want to kill those things. Let's just keep it going. We do know there's a Christmas T-Rex up in this general direction. If it's still around, we'll probably get rid of it. There's another Bronto. What level's the other Bronto? 85. We'll go after the 85. We don't care about him being gone. Maybe a 150 will take its place. Giganotosaurus has a level up. Let's put another level into melee damage. They get very little per level up. But if you put it into anything else, it's just basically a waste. It only went up about 2.5%. Snack on a Bronto. This creature is basically the same size as a Giga. Took 7 bites to kill a 85 Bronto, so my Giga is not the strongest one there is. But it's pretty good for only a level 95, I guess. Originally, that's what it originally was, a level 95. We're going to walk across the map here and see if we can find us a T-Rex to fight with. Would like to come across an Alpha Raptor or a Carno or something, but I don't much think we'll ever find one. They seem to be quite rare on this map. Can I make him roar? Sure can I? What is that? Pigs? Will pigs attack a Giga? Or will they just let me walk right by? Just let me walk right by, I won't bother you. So I'm basically looking for a T-Rex to fight with. I think there's a low level one up here around the corner. I haven't walked around this map in a long time. That looked like a horse. Is that a horse? Or is that wolves? That is wolves. There's a mammoth. I wonder if a mammoth's spear roar affects me in any way. Does it? Do you fear roar thing? Let's see if I get spots on my head. Come on. You ain't gonna do it, are you? What level's the mammoth? 60. I guess we'll just get rid of the mammoth then. Maybe he'll fear roar if I bite him. Or it instantly killed him. Okay. Thought he might fear roar if I yelled at him or bit him. And I'm not seeing any T-Rexes. Kind of wonder if I took him over to the wyvern trench if he can handle wyverns. I don't know. Be a long walk over there though. need a long walkway over there to the wyvern area. And I didn't see a T-Rex, but I think it's over this way. Look out wherever you are down there. It's a Megalosaurus. I'm coming through. I take up a lot of space, so you better watch out. And I do a lot of stomp damage. And the terror birds everywhere up here, ain't they? Snack. That's snacked on a bunch of terror birds. I better quit eating stuff. He's getting overweight again. Let's go up this hill. Maybe we can find that T-Rex before it gets dark. We are moving really slow. This is definitely probably the safest way to travel the map on the ground. There's another Direwolf in it. Let's see what happens if I run into trees. Do they just fall down, or do they... Didn't seem to do nothing to that one. There's a Bronto or two. I bet the Brontos killed the T-Rex. Because the T-Rex was pretty low level, that tree just disappeared. Yep, I bet the Brontos killed the T-Rex. I bet I won't even get to find a T-Rex. Let's kill some raptors. There's a 145 in there. 2 145s. Bronto, did you see a T-Rex up here? There's a tech raptor. We're looking for another high-level tech raptor. I can get him in my scope. Where did you go, tech raptor? Is that a 20? No, it's a 24. Pretty bad. I don't know where the T-Rex is at. Let's just keep looking. See what time it is here. We've got a few more hours before it gets dark on us. Maybe we'll find that Christmas. Oh, I found an Allosaur pack. Let's take on the Allosaur pack. Of course, there's only 2 of them, though, because I've done got rid of one of them. Long time ago, and I think they're pretty low level. Come here, Allosaurs. T-Rex was running with these Allosaurs. Maybe he's just over this hill here. Well, they actually aggroed on me. But they didn't have much of a chance. Where did the T-Rex go now? That Bronto is slapping at something. Is there a T-Rex down there? Bet there is. What is that red thing running there? That red horse, boy. You ain't gonna survive. I think there must be a T-Rex down here. Yep, there's the Christmas T-Rex. What level are you? I think I checked him before. It is only a 25, and the Bronto is a 25, so let's clean that mess up. Christmas T-Rex, I wish you was high level, I'd tame you. But you're not. I'll have to make a snack onions. There's that red horse. I want to get a look at that red horse. Where you at, red horse? 90. It's pretty colors, but I'm not going to tame a 90. We're going to start walking back toward base and see what we can see between here and there. See if we can find a way back up this hill. I've got another level up. Let's put another level up into melee damage. 267 melee damage. The other way, Brontos, we're going up this hill. We're trying to. Gigas can walk up pretty steep areas, but I don't know if they can walk up this or not. Yep. Right into the ground, but he's going up it. There's a tech stegosaur. I think I've checked him before. I think he's a 162. No, he's a 156. Let's do a little bit of sprinting and see if we can get back to base a little quicker. I know we'll run out of stamina in about 6 or 7 steps and have to stop again. Yep, stamina's already gone. That's how quickly they go through it if you run with them. They're not built to run. But a Giga's pretty cool. If you had a really good 150 tamed up, it would probably be about indestructible. Probably could take on alpha T-Rexes. I don't know if you could or not with one. Never had one good enough that I would try it. But there's our base right directly over through there. There's a red terrorbird with a green face. What level that thing is? 45. It's cool looking, but it ain't very good level. I reckon another thing about Gigas is if they get almost dead while fighting something or fall off a ledge or something, they can enrage. If they enrage, they'll attack the rider. So they will attack you if they get enraged. I've never had that happen before, but I reckon if you like fall a long ways or something and damage them real bad. And I don't really want to test that or nothing. I didn't why I'm up on this ledge. I was just looking for a shorter way around. We're not going to jump off a ledge on a Giga, because I might find out if they enrage or not. Do another little sprinting thing here. I think this is probably a slope down right here. But if they get near death, I reckon they will enrage and go after the rider. And I reckon another thing is they're really good against the super turkeys during the Thanksgiving event. People say they're the best creature for taking out super turkeys, but I really don't see how that could be a thing, though. Just the fact that it would take you so long to get the Giga between them. From one super turkey to the other seemed like that would defeat the whole purpose. But we're going to truck it back up to base here with him because the day is running short and we want to get ready for the Raptor Claws event. The Christmas thing is still going on. And we want to be ready for that. I actually don't know where I'm at right here. Seems like I'm up on the other side of my fishing shack, ain't I? Yeah, I think so. Walking along a ledge here, everything looks smaller when you're on this guy. I actually don't know if I am or not. Yeah, there's my base and there's my fishing shack right directly in front of us. Let's make a stop off at the fishing shack and see how much longer we need before we can imprint on our Tuso. Then we'll head up to the base, probably call it. We've done a small trek across probably about a quarter of the map. On a Giga, fought a T-Rex and a few Brontos, a few Raptors. Nothing very serious though. Up here where the Tusos are, like I said, I'm going to stop real quick and check on my baby Tuso and see how much it likes being imprinted. I think it was about 45 minutes when we was up here earlier. I don't really remember, but you definitely take fall damage jumping off a Tuso, or not a Tuso, but a Gigantosaurus or a Giganotosaurus. Baby Tuso needs imprinting in 27 minutes, so sometime in the morning I need to come down here and imprint on him. Sometime tomorrow morning. Let's get the Giga back to base. It is 2000 hours. I think we're probably just going to go ahead and end it off here because all we're going to do is walk up to the base and unload him. So anyway, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And thanks again for watching. This is ARK Creatures and the Giganotosaurus. Can you look down, Giga? Signing out.